Okay, we are live on YouTube. Let's figure out TikTok here. Get this set up. Yep. And we are gonna be live on TikTok any minute now. Just gotta find this. I don't know how to rename. Trying to bear with me, YouTube. I'm trying to get TikTok going here. Come on, you. All right, whatever. We'll just hit live and we'll figure it out from there. All right. Good stuff. We are chilling. Figured I could do a little bit of a Q&A today. All about LinkedIn, because so many people are asking about it. Let's save that. All right, welcome in, folks. Welcome if people from YouTube are coming in. Folks from TikTok are coming in. Today, we are talking about LinkedIn, primarily how you can use it to actually grow your freelance business, how to properly network on the internet. I thought, what better place to do this than places that aren't LinkedIn? because if you're here, it means you're probably not there. So let's hash through it. All right. Ask me any questions you got about LinkedIn. Maybe we start as people are coming in. I'm kind of vamping here as we're getting started. Tell me what part of the world you're in, and maybe what business you're in, and some of your business goals. And we'll start officially answering some questions. And while we wait for those questions to come in, I will share with you some stories about. Oh, well, actually, here's a good one. Let's just start here. Sorry about that. This is from Dave. It says, "How do you self-promote on LinkedIn without making it braggy?" Great freaking question. So, I mean, and honestly, it's one that I seem to be getting a lot here about LinkedIn. So I guess that must mean that a lot of people are bragging on LinkedIn. But really, the thing to realize here is that LinkedIn, or the power of LinkedIn, isn't content per se, it's engagement. So first and foremost, the premise of the question is, how do you make stuff without being braggy? Like, you don't really have to make stuff. It's, I mean, sure, it's helpful. Like, it's the difference between, a B plus and an A plus on the platform. But to begin with, if you don't feel like making content, it's not a traditional social network in that sense that you make content and you grow an audience. What LinkedIn actually is just a business conference that's open all day, every day, for you to just walk into and shake some hands and introduce yourself to people that actually want to, purchase your solution. But if you are making content, to do so without being braggy is actually a piece of cake. All you're doing is making content that your ideal client or customer would save or share. So, really, if you're making braggy content, you're doing it wrong. So all the people that are, kind of just like bragging about what they're up to and what they're doing are missing the point, and they might get some clients on accident, like without, in spite of the fact that they're not doing it properly. But for the most part, your content needs to be extremely valuable to your ideal client. So it needs to be something that they would either that's valuable enough that they would either save it and come back to it later, or share it with their team and be like, hey, are we doing this? How come we're not, are we optimizing for this? Yeah, I would say start there. Like, make a list of all the questions that your ideal customer would ask, right? Or all the problems that your ideal customer is solving for, and then make content that answers those questions and solves those problems. Now, folks that are in the live in YouTube, they can see this because YouTube has some more features, so you can see in the description and stuff. But we are counting down. We are knocking on the door of 20,000 followers on LinkedIn, and so today the mission is, during this live together, we're going to punch through and hit 20,000 followers on LinkedIn. So if you're watching on LinkedIn, on YouTube, you should be able to click the link in the description to go over to my LinkedIn and send me a connection request. If you're watching it on TikTok, you might have to get out of the app and go send me a connection request right there. But I will be accepting all connection requests that come from this time together, these two lives today. And what that means is we can chat in the DMs over in LinkedIn about how to use LinkedIn to grow your business. So currently I have a little over 600 unanswered connection requests. So you guys get to skip that line and just send me a connection request on LinkedIn, and I'll accept it, and we can keep the conversation going over there. So if you're in this live for a minute, be prepared for me to repeat that statement a few times, because I want people to know about it. Because I like chatting with freelancers in LinkedIn. All right, Nick Studios. Hey, Nick. Nick's in the program. Hey, Jamie, I'm a member of the program. I told you, Nick's in the program. I'm a member of the program. But just wanted to ask you this real quick. If you created your LinkedIn account today, right now, what are the first three things you do in order? Okay, first three things I do to create my LinkedIn account today, like after I created my LinkedIn account. First and foremost, I would optimize my profile picture and headline. Not necessarily your profile. Eventually you're going to have to optimize your profile, but for the question, first three things, I would pick a profile picture that's very recognizable. That's got your face in it clearly, and some sort of something that you can spot from a distance, right? Like a very bold color, or something of that ilk. And then your name and headline should be very provocative is the wrong word. Hooky. Like it should be something like the headline should be something that captures the imagination of your ideal customer. And the reason that's the first thing that I would optimize is because so much of LinkedIn is dependent on engagement, is reliant on engagement. So, a lot of your success on that platform is going to be from how you show up in the comment sections of other people's posts and, daily. So what you want to happen is people in your industry that follow these industry leaders start to see your face and your headline next to a very valuable comment, in every comment section that they encounter. Because somebody will log into LinkedIn maybe once a week, and they kind of get in their feed, they get a smattering of the week's posts, and they want to spot like, oh, there's Nick with that yellow background, on every comment. And eventually, when it's time for you to show up in these people's DMs, they'll recognize you. They say, oh, there's a yellow background guy that I'm always seeing like really valuable comments in all these comment sections from, and they'll accept your request, or they'll be interested in engaging with you. You know, because it's more likely that that's what they're going to remember versus like, oh, that's Nick so and so. Like you got to do a lot of work to get like name brand recognition, but visually they'll probably be used to your profile picture. So that's the first thing that I would optimize. The next thing I would do is create a, let's see, you said in order. So what's the next? I would create a list of creators to engage with. So I would pick like 25 industry influencers for your niche. This is why having a niche is so important, guys. It's like if you have, you know, if you're just a designer or if you're just an editor or you're just a videographer, none of this stuff works. So you have to pick an industry that you help solve problems for. So I would pick 25 influencers in the industry that you solve problems for, and turn on notifications for all 25, so that anytime you log into the app, you see who's recently posted and whose comment or whose post you're going to comment on and engage with. So that's step 2. And if you want to get nitpicky, you could create a spreadsheet with their posting times. Because you know, after a week of doing this, you'll start to identify like, oh, person A posts at 9 in the morning, person B posts at 11 in the morning. You know, so you can kind of schedule your day based on that, or schedule your engagement based on that. But that's a nice to have, not a need to have. And then the final thing that I would do is I would, you know, front the cash to pay for Sales Navigator. It's like 80 or 90 bucks a month. Sales Navigator on LinkedIn is access to their back end, and you can run really targeted searches within the niche that you solve problems for, and send out 200 connection requests a week to start building your audience, your connections with people that have the exact problem that you solve for them. So that would be the 3 things that I would do. Is I would optimize first. There's a couple things I'd do after, but those are the 3 things I'd do first in that order. I'd optimize profile picture and headline, you know, for curiosity in the comment sections. I would build a lead list of influencers that I will be commenting on daily. And then I would get Sales Navigator set up so that I can run my search for 200 connection requests a week. That's the max that LinkedIn lets you send out. So that's how I would handle that. While I've seen a lot of people are coming in, so I just want to refresh the room here. What we're doing here today, we're talking about LinkedIn, but we're also celebrating the fact that my LinkedIn, our LinkedIn, Courtney's in and out of the room, but our LinkedIn is about to hit 20,000 followers. And so anybody who can sends me a connection request while I'm live right now, I'm going to accept that thing so that we can continue talking about your business in the DMs over on LinkedIn. So if you're on YouTube, there's a link in the description. You can click to go send me a connection request. If you're on TikTok, you might have to leave the app and come back. But send me a connection request and we can keep these conversations going in the DMs over there. You know, but you know, I mentioned earlier, I've got, well, let's see how many, well, I've got you here. How many connection requests I currently have 645 connection requests that are unanswered. So you guys are going to be skipping a very long line if you send me a connection request right now. So let's see here. What's our follow count right now? Oh wow. Okay, so we currently are at 19,945 followers. So I think that's already 10 new followers since we went live today. So join now, follow now, send that connection request, and I will make sure to accept every connection request that comes in while I'm live. Let's see here if I can do this. Show all. Just go by today. Okay, so I'm going to just take these. Let me mute this so it doesn't. And go accept 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. All right, so 14 connection requests accepted. If you want to be connected with me on LinkedIn, you just have to send it during this live. And this will be a great chance for me to help you further with your business on LinkedIn, because you can just shoot me a DM because we're connected. All right, let's take another question. Where did YouTube go? Here's YouTube. And I'll pull up LinkedIn here so I can have it. Ooh, okay, just got two more followers. We're doing it, guys. All right. Shoot, where did YouTube go? All right, cool. So that question was from YouTube. So let's do a question. Let's do a question from TikTok. Let's see what's some questions we've missed. Okay. All right, here's one. It says, I'm on my third draft and the client still doesn't like my work. What should I do? Gosh, we've all been there, right? I mean, like, people, because we can see, I think you can see hearts as you leave them. Guys, leave likes for if you've ever been in that situation before, so this person doesn't feel alone. Yeah, this is a very, I mean, hey, go easy on yourself here, all right? A couple things might be happening, and you know, you might have to diagnose a little on your end, but first and foremost, to avoid this situation in the future, you want to get on the same page about you know, how they're scoring success for the project first and foremost. Let's see if he mentions what it is he does. Logo. Okay, logo design. So cool. So we're talking about a logo design here, group, but you know, apply this to whatever it is you do as well. If you were to start working with a new logo design client, first order of business is getting on the same page about what that logo is supposed to do for their business. So it's not this isn't a creative endeavor, because creativity is subjective, right? You want something objective. How are we measuring success for this project? It's not, do you like it? It's, is this going to do the thing for your business that you needed to do? So you get on the same page about that before you pick up a pen, right? Before you even get to work on it. And then you iterate on the cheap side of the project. So you don't want to be doing third round, fourth round revisions on the expensive side of the project, right? Where it's like, I've done all of the work of building out this logo and doing mock-ups, et cetera, et cetera. You want to do all that at the sketch stage, where it's really easy for you guys to iterate, right? So you send them a couple sketches and they're like, no. And then you get on a call and you measure those sketches against the goals. You say, here's why we made this decision, because you said that XYZ needs to be true for this logo to be a success. And so we did this, this, and that to serve those goals, those objectives. Are those still objectives that you want to serve, right? So basically, to argue against your decision making is to argue against the success of their project. So it's much easier to have these conversations when you've gotten on the same sheet of music about success metrics, because then it's purely you advocating for their success. It's not you saying, well, I like my design. You know, it's you saying, well, this design checks all the boxes, the business result boxes that we've discussed, you know. So you know, what's your argument against them? And working with them as a strategic partner, not so much as like an artist that they hired. You know, it's more like you're their co-CEO in this endeavor and you're trying to get them to the best result. If you're at this stage now and you haven't done that pre-work to get there, and you're iterating on the expensive side of the project, I would call a meeting and try to kind of put this stuff in place now, where it's like, okay, clearly we seem to be on two pages here. Let's get on the same page. I want to have a meeting real quick where we just get aligned on the objectives of this logo project, right? Or any project, whatever project, you know, anybody watching would be engaged in. Once you do that, you know, then start the process. Like I said, then say, okay, well, I don't want this project to drag on forever. It's going to start costing more money. That's not what I want to happen. So let's get on the same page. Let's iterate on the cheap end. I'm gonna send you some scratch designs, and then we're gonna do this again. We're gonna have another call, and we're gonna go through them together, right? So it's not like you hand it to them and then they go in a room together and make all their notes and then give it back to you. No, that part's over. Now you guys are just in the same room working the problem together, side by side, right? Not in front of one another, side by side. You're on a team, and that should get you back to a place where you guys are a little more partnered up and less adversarial. Hopefully that helps. All right, guys, let's check the LinkedIn. So if you're just coming in, we're celebrating the fact that we're getting close to 20,000 followers on LinkedIn here. And anybody who sends me a connection request while we're live will be accepted. Okay, we were at 947. Okay, we've only got one new follower, guys. Got to get on this. I'm going to accept that one. Let's see here. If you are on TikTok, well, that's not true because here we've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So LinkedIn's just taking its time. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new connection requests. So we'll just accept. All right, and that should update over here. Let's see if it does it. I don't get it. I wonder why it's not updating. Well, let me see something. If I send a connection request to somebody, let's see. Do you know there's another Courtney Darby on LinkedIn, Courtney? Man, oh man. Del Castro. Let's ask her. Doesn't let me test this. Oh well. Okay, now it's catching up. Cool. All right, guys. So we are at accept. Another 4 there. So right now, according to LinkedIn, we are at 19,952. So when we went live, it was 935-ish, 36 maybe. So 46. What is that, like 16 so far? Not bad. Not bad. Okay. Let's take another question. Let's try and keep it on LinkedIn, but if there's something juicy, I'll go for it. Okay, cool. Oh, Paula Lucas, let's see. You already sent it. You're in the 645 that I haven't accepted. Let me search for you. Okay, there you go. Just accepted you, Paula. All right. Fair is fair. Where did this go? Yeah, so we have like 650 unanswered connection requests. So you guys all get to skip that line today for this hour only. All right, let's see here. Sam asks, can you go over once what all offers should have and how it's used, like an example of it? I see a framework, but an example would help. Okay, cool. Let's pick an example. So that's a good one. All right, so we did this in the freelancing program a few days ago. I went on ChatGPT and built out an offer in screen shared it. So what you do is you identify a niche, start with a niche that is, ideally overrepresented in your network. So like say you have a bunch of friends or family in one industry, that could hook you up, because like at the end of the day, it's a people business, and you want to start where you have the most people. It's all about relationships and trust. So you want to start there, and then or if there is no industry that's overrepresented in your network, um, pick an industry that you're interested in working with. But I'd start there, and then you want to identify a very costly, urgent, painful problem to solve for that industry, right? And that's where ChatGPT can come in handy, because it can do a very robust internet search for you. So you can ask ChatGPT, you can literally say, "Hey, I'm a designer, or I'm a photographer, or I'm a accountant, or I'm whatever, um, and I want to build out an offer for this industry. What are some painful problems that need solved? Just give me a list of like 30, right?" And so in the freelancing program, I picked an industry at random. I just said, because the more specific you can get about the industry, the better. So I said, direct to consumer makeup brands that sell on TikTok Shop, right? That's about as specific as it gets. D2C makeup brands that sell on TikTok Shop. And then I asked it to workshop, to give me all the problems that those people are solving. And it gave me a list of 30 very inside baseball specific problems that direct to consumer makeup brands selling on TikTok Shop are solving for. And take a look at those and decide which one you want to build an offer for. So for instance, I think, if I am remembering correctly, when we did this in the freelancing program, it was one of the 30, or the one that I picked, was the problem was that TikTok Shop makeup brands have an issue with customers being disappointed with their first product packaging, because they see their favorite influencers do the unboxing, and of course the influencer got like a luxurious unboxing experience, and the customer just got a box with like some bubble wrap in it. And so the customers were all expecting this like amazing experience, and they didn't get it. And so the example we had created was that if I were a designer, which I'm not, but if I were a designer, what problem could I solve for them? And so we picked that one, and then we developed an offer of saying that, like, I design, oh gosh, I forget what we landed on, but it was like, I design first product experiences for makeup brands that increase repeat orders by 25%. And it's just, they don't have to do anything to the packaging, et cetera, et cetera. It's just like a few assets that are designed and split tested across a couple months. So it's like a 4-month program or something like that. So really what you want to do, like go about it exactly like that. Use ChatGPT to workshop problems, and pick expensive problems to expensive problems to solve, and then go about the business of spreading that gospel, letting people know that that's what you're about. So it's the framework is, I solve X problem for Y customer to Z result, right? So that in that case, it's the designer solves the problem of customers being unhappy with their first unboxing for makeup customers, to the result of an increase in repeat purchases by like 20 to 40% or something like that. So hopefully that's helpful. All right, guys, let's refresh the chat here. What we're doing is we are celebrating the fact that we're getting close to 20,000 followers here on LinkedIn. And for everybody that sends me a connection request on LinkedIn and follows me, do both just in case. So follow, connection request. For everybody who does that, I will be accepting that connection request here now, live. because I have 645 connection requests, and you guys get to skip that line. Let's see how many. Okay, how many new connection requests we have. Show all. Okay, only one new one. We should get Instagram involved in this. Oh, Caleb. Caleb says, I sent my connection request last week. I'm probably part of the 600 people. All right, let's look up Caleb and get him in here. Caleb. There you go. All right. Caleb accepted. All right, cool. Let's see here. Let's take another question. That's the last one was that one from TikTok, I think? Let's do Always and Forever Evolving said, can you talk more about the freelancing course and the modules? Sure. Love talking about it. No problem, Caleb. I'll see you in there. Shoot me a DM. The freelancing program is a community primarily, and it's a community of over 1,000 freelancers who every day post what they're up to in their businesses, and we all grow together. So we do live meetups where some of which I'm involved in, most of which I'm involved in, some of which I'm not, because I want people to be able to engage without me in the room. But sometimes I'll pick a topic that I want us to explore, and sometimes it's just like a blanket Q&A where we can get really specific about your business. Call people up and we talk about, okay, well, this client said this, and let's write the email together, in front of everybody so that we can all learn. And it's a pretty sweet environment. I mean, probably the most active rooms on the platform are the wins room, which is where people share their wins. They share things that are working in their business, their victories, and offers that are going gangbusters. And it's a place for freelancers to go and get inspired, because it's like, well, if this worked for your photography clients, it'll probably work for my design clients, or it'll probably work for my whatever clients. It's a place to kind of crowdsource offers and business decisions. And then the other most popular room is the client conversations room, where literally people will post screenshots from an email and be like, what the fuck do I say to this? And we can all workshop the strategy together. But really, we just wanted to solve for the fact that freelancing, can be lonely for some folks, and it shouldn't be that way. We all benefit from one another doing well. So it's a place to crowdsource your business decisions. It's like having 1,000 co-CEOs, business partners that all want to see you kill it. So if you're interested in joining the freelancing program, by all means, the link should be in bios everywhere. But really, you could just go to thefreelancingprogram.com and check it out. .com, right? Not .io. .com.
No, I mean.
Courtney needs coffee. Freelancingprogram.com. Okay, let's see here. Why is that doing that? Okay. You know what we should do? Bear with me, guys. Let's see if I have this or that. Let's see. Could do this guy. Courtney. Would it be? Oh no, that's not going to work, is it? So would it be an imposition if I borrowed your phone? Oh, I see. So this goes here. Be honest, if you're working. Thank you. It's going to get Instagram going here. I just feel like Instagram should be. I got to do it on this one, huh? Only does it vertical. Sorry, YouTube. Let's figure this out. I don't think I have another. I don't have another way to attach a phone to a tripod here. Well, Instagram might have to miss out.
Figure it out later.
Yeah. All right, we'll do another live for the Instagrammers. I just feel like they'll feel rebuffed. Okay, let's do this. Let's refresh the LinkedIn. Let's see how we're doing. Looks like we've got another four connection requests. Accept. This is, I mean, hey, it's probably the fastest I've gone through some connection requests. Okay, cool. So, yeah. Sorry, Instagram. We'll figure it out later. So let's go to TikTok. I think that last one was from how many platforms are we currently live on? Just two right now. I need to get another tripod for any more than that. Although I think there's like apps that you can get that let you stream across every platform. Let's find a TikTok question. Am I PewDiePie? No, I'm not PewDiePie.
What does that mean?
You don't know who PewDiePie is? He's, I can honestly say I've never seen one of his videos, but he's a gentleman with a very large following on the internet. Let's see here. Okay, we answered that question. I really wish TikTok had a question sticker. Okay, a couple people I've connected with. Dave, hoping to make it to LA for Adobe Max. Dave, if you make it to LA for Adobe Max, pay close attention in the next week or so, because we're about to announce a pretty epic event that is going to take place that week in Hollywood with a couple other phenomenal creators. We've already locked in the space. We've locked in the creators that are all going to be part of it. It's going to be a freelancing networking event. If you're in LA for Adobe Max, stay tuned. Turn on notifications. Do whatever you got to do to make sure that you receive the messaging about this event, because it's literally going to be like a legendary night for creative freelancers. Okay, getting some more connection requests in. If you're new here, we're celebrating the fact that we're close to 20,000 followers on LinkedIn. So what we're doing to celebrate that is, if you send me a connection request, I'm accepting it while I'm live. So send me, so hit the follow button and then hit the connect button, and I will hit the accept button like I just did. All right, so we were looking for questions on TikTok. Yes, you can have your phone back. Sorry. Looking for questions on TikTok. Is it worth it to pay for LinkedIn? Yes, but only Sales Navigator. LinkedIn has a few paid products, and I would say that Sales Navigator is the one worth spending your money on. So Sales Navigator is the it's like the back end of LinkedIn. Like it's basically a search engine on LinkedIn where you can literally search for like geography, company type, number of people in the company, headcount, title, role, publicly held, privately held, charity, like you name it. You run these searches for your ideal customer, and the more specific you can get, the better. And then you send 200 connection requests each week to the people that came up in those searches. So it allows you to essentially build a pipeline of only people that would buy from you. Whereas in any other social media platform, it's, you kind of have to play the game of that platform to hopefully attract the right customer. So it's like on, if say we earlier today we were talking about direct to consumer makeup companies. If you wanted to attract that customer type on Instagram, you'd make content that you think would get their attention, but like would also probably get the attention of people who just like makeup. It might get the attention of people who are just interested in TikTok Shop. All people that wouldn't buy from you. So you're no saying like who exactly is in your audience. But with Sales Navigator on LinkedIn, you don't have to play that game. You can literally build your audience and just like stack the deck with people that actually would buy from you. So Sales Navigator is probably one of the most valuable ways to spend your money as a business owner. It's like 80 or 90 bucks a month or something like that. All right, let's do a YouTube question from the YouTube group. Where were we on the YouTube questions? What does this button do? Oh my gosh, there is a Q&A sticker on YouTube. Well, that's convenient. Okay, so how do I do this? So, okay, just do ask me anything, start Q&A. So where does it go? Okay. Okay. Cool. So I added a question sticker for YouTube to add your questions, but in the meantime, let's see here. Frame Reckoner says, will posting faceless on LinkedIn be acceptable? Trying out freelance video editing. I mean, it's acceptable, but it's going to hinder the effectiveness of being on LinkedIn for your business. Really, what people want to do is see the people that they're potentially working with, right? People want to buy from people, and it's social media, meaning they want to socialize, right? Particularly on LinkedIn, because like I said earlier, LinkedIn isn't like traditional social media networks. It's a networking event. So it would be like going to a networking event with a mask on. People like, what? I don't know what to do with you. So it's more about you want to engage and network and build relationships with other people. So I mean, obviously you could make it work, but you'll probably see maybe like 10% of the results as if you had done it just as with your face. All right, Diego says, greetings from Mexico. What up, Mexico? Did I say that right? Mexico, man. I love Mexico. Let's see here. Is there a certain vertical most of your videos and comments apply to? Portfolio comments, etc. So, Kyle, is there a certain vertical most of your, where's this text going? Most of your videos and comments apply to portfolio comments, etc. So, I mean, in commenting on LinkedIn, it's whatever I think I can add value to, right? So it's if somebody's talking about pricing, then I'll add my 2 cents about pricing. If somebody's talking about, lead generation, I'll add my 2 cents about lead generation. So, really, it's bespoke to whatever the post is. And I picked the post based on, where the action is on the platform. Like you probably don't want to, if your goal is to leave 20 comments a day on LinkedIn, you don't want 19 of them to be on posts that only have 2 other comments, because the objective of that is each comment is a billboard for your business. And if you're leaving it on a post that doesn't have a lot of action, you're not constructing a billboard for your business. So that's an important distinction. Is the program only for creative freelancers? Great question. And no, I mean, we've got lawyers, CPAs, VAs, plenty of folks. Pretty much anybody with a service business is in there benefiting from all the other people with service businesses. You know, there's nothing specific to creative businesses in the program. All this stuff, we work really hard to make it applicable across the board because it honestly is not that much of a challenge because all this stuff is applicable across the board. I mean, that's what it's like. I never talk about my business on any of these shorts for that reason. It's like I don't want to give people the out to be like, oh, he's only talking to video business owners. It's like, no, this is. I mean, like literally, doctors have DM'd me and been like, "This is great, thanks, man, keep it coming." Like it's literally anybody with a business that is service based is going to benefit from this stuff. Definitely worth checking out, guys. If you're interested in the freelancing program, uh, I'd love to see you in there. It's a subscription model now. We made it a subscription model so it could be more accessible, so more people could get in there and use it. And it's been great since we did that. We've added 250 people to the program. So we're at like 1,200 and some change, and it's super active and it's a great time. I spent some good time in there. All right, let's see here. Okay, how do I do this with the YouTube questions? And by the way, guys, in case you're new, we're celebrating the fact that we are almost at 20,000 followers on LinkedIn. So if you are on TikTok, hop out of the app real quick, go follow me on LinkedIn and send a connection request, and I'll accept that connection request during this live. If you're on YouTube, you should be able to click the link somewhere in the description of this live. Go follow me on LinkedIn, send a connection request, and I'll accept that connection request while we're on this live. And it looks like we are getting close. We've added 32 followers since we started this live. So we're getting close. We are, looks like we've got, 40 to go before we're 40. Yeah, about 42 followers to go. And we're at 20,000, which is quite fantastic. Okay, so we were picking a question here. So if I hit select question, let's see what happens. Oh, cool. All right, so Sam asked how to keep posting content when I'm still a newbie but don't have, oh, it went away. Still a newbie. So I don't have any insights. I'm just research, but it's not my insights. It's just sharing research, and I don't want to be that kind of creator. So yeah, I mean, you don't know what you don't know. You're a newbie, and so the content that you have available to you is kind of like build it in public content, right? Learning what you don't know out in public, and figuring out your offer in public and sharing your notes as you go, right? So imagine, like, even if you're still new, all you have to be is like 20 minutes ahead of the person that's paying you money, right? Or not even. Like, I hire video. I'm a very experienced video editor, and I hire people that are less experienced than me because I'm buying back my time, So it's like you don't always have to be more experienced than the person that's hiring you. But if you're working for a brand, I guarantee you know more about what you do than a VP of communications knows, or what have you. So, but share your journey on LinkedIn. Compare notes, or share your notes. That's probably going to be your best option at this time. And sometimes that will look like curating industry insights, but you would add your 2 cents to that, where it's like, this study just came out, it says XYZ, which is something I've always suspected, but really I think that this means this. What are your thoughts? Let's see here, close question. All right, TikTok. Oops. It's all the TikTok chat just refreshed. Let's see here. All right. I'm accountant and financial advisor. Thanks. Yes, we have your kind in the program. Let's see here. I would just like to thank you. You really helped me a lot with my business. Hey, I'm glad. I appreciate you putting this stuff to work. It's like all I can do is talk about it. You guys actually have to take action. You'd be surprised how many people just watch this stuff and save it to a playlist and then never do anything with it. So props to you for actually making it happen. It's we're as freelancers, we are people of action. Okay. Let's see here. Jericho says, what is your business? For like 16 years, I was in the video production business. And then this year, we closed down our video production studio agency and opened up a social media strategy firm. So it's been fun, kind of exploring, a new offer and remembering the good old days when I still had to figure out like what clients wanted, what the niche was looking for out of a particular offer. Let's see here if I tap this. Katya says, I don't have a connection request button. Huh. Well, can you follow me, Katya? Let me see if I can find you after you follow me. For people who are new to this chat, we're celebrating the fact that we are almost to 20,000 followers on LinkedIn. So if you want to celebrate with me, go follow me on LinkedIn and send me a connection request, and I will accept that connection request while we're live. Let's see here. Because let's see, I have 635. Let's see. Okay, 3 new ones. Accept. Follow me, send me a connection request, and you too will be accepted. And I'll just have to make sure. Here we go. I'm gonna make all these messages unread because I can see you guys are messaging me too. But I will get to you guys this evening. Okay, where did YouTube go? So that question's been answered. I can. You can put users in timeout. I wonder what that does. Oh, you can add a moderator. I can recruit Courtney one day to do that. Well, how do I don't want to like remove. All right, well, I'll remove it because I've answered it. Okay. Let's do this one. I'll try to select question. Cool. This is from Ahmad. He says, I'm in property management, doing it for companies in US. I'm having a hard time connecting with clients. Can LinkedIn help me? Yes, LinkedIn can help you. So what you do is you download Sales Navigator and you run a very targeted search for property owners in the US. You can set their head count, and that usually helps with income, with revenue levels. Like if it's a property owner that has like 10 employees, they're going to have a different budget than a property owner that has like 50 employees. So depending on what your offer is budgeted at, you'll set it there, and then toggle on. This is important, folks. Toggle on has posted in the last 30 days, which means that they're active on LinkedIn, because a lot of people made a LinkedIn profile 8 years ago and never came back. So toggle that on and then hit go and send out connection requests to 200 people a week from that search. And as they accept those connection requests, send them out without a note, no notes. It's just a blank connection request. And then as they accept those connection requests, send out an opening message that has something extremely valuable in it, something that some other people might charge for. an audit or a worksheet or a white paper, what have you, and introduce yourself and just say what you do, what problem you solve, and that you're interested in starting a conversation. By the way, here's this valuable thing that a lot of people that I work with use. Hope you enjoy it. And if you send out 200 connection requests a week and you see like a 25% acceptance rate, then you've got 200 new leads every month to nurture and convert into clients. Super, super valuable. Okay. Oops. Okay, so Katya, let's find you, Katya, here. Okay, cool. I found you, Katya, and there you go. Sent you a connection request. Sweet, you're in. Send me a DM. All right, let's see here. All right, let's go with this one. I struggle pricing my product or service. This one is relatively simple to answer. Basically, what you want to do is price in a way that allows you to not have to always be at the desk working. Sorry, I'm multitasking real quick. I'll answer your question in just a second. Let's do this. Where the hell is this thing? Sorry, guys. Let me just finish this real quick. Okay, cool. All right. So the question, sorry, what was the question? It was, I struggle pricing my product service. So what you want to do is price in a way that would allow you to subcontract every job if you needed to, right? And this number is something that you reference internally. It's your price is going to be different for every gig because your value is going to be different for every gig, but you need to know your number, your floor, your base number. And here's how you calculate that. You want to take the income you need to generate annually and divide that by the amount of projects that you average annually, right? So say you want to make 100 grand a year, easy math. So you want to make 100 grand a year and you average 10 projects a year. So 100 grand divided by 10 is $10,000, right? So you get that number, and then you add to that number how much it would cost you to responsibly subcontract that job. If you had to hire a subcontractor for those 10 projects, how much would you end up paying that subcontractor, right? So if you do some research and determine that you could pull off, delivering that gig for like $5,000, like you pay a subcontractor $5,000 to do it, then that means 10,000 plus 5,000 is 15,000. So that means 15,000 is your base price moving forward, right? Because that allows you to build a business and not a job. A job is something where you only make money if you're working, and a business is something that doesn't depend on you to make that money. Now, it doesn't mean you would ever have to engage a subcontractor. It just means that you could if you wanted to or needed to. So let me give you that. Let me give you that again. It's oh, hang on. TikTok is telling me I have to drag a puzzle piece into place here. There we go. So let me give you that equation again. It's the income you need to generate annually divided by the number of projects that you're projecting annually, get that figure, and then add to it how much it would cost you to subcontract the job, right? And that's your price. Now, if you come across a client to whom the value of your service is worth more than $15,000, then by all means take the shot. That doesn't mean that you've just put a sticker on your offer that from now on it's only ever 15,000. Like sometimes a client will come through where if you do this thing correctly for them, it means millions to their business. And so it's like they'd be uncomfortable only paying 15,000 for that, so you want to price it in a manner that demonstrates that you're taking this problem as seriously as they are. So you don't want to miss out on that opportunity. All right. Let's check in on LinkedIn, guys. Let's see here. If you're new here, we're on the 20K watch. We are growing our LinkedIn following to 20,000 today. And if you send me a connection request today, I will accept it live. Just accept it. There's another one. All right, there are 2 more. So if you're new, if you're on TikTok, send me a connection request. If you're on YouTube, send me a connection request. We're going to probably close out of this live here soon. So it's now or never. Yeah, okay. Cool. All right, let's see here. We got some more questions in the YouTube question sticker. All right, let's see here. Well, this is a short one. It says, I'm a Shopify developer starting my Upwork journey as a freelancer. When do we have to register as a business? I'm not a lawyer, so caveat, but I would suggest that you do buy an hour of a lawyer's time, a local lawyer's time, and just ask them all of these questions. They'll get you hooked up. But you do want to be, it's going to be different for everybody, every state, every nation, but you want to be compliant. And I would say the sooner the better, because you want, it's less about, what's required and more about protecting yourself. Because an LLC in the States, I don't know what it is everywhere else, but is an entity that exists to put a wall between your personal assets and your business assets. So if your business ever finds itself in trouble, your personal assets are protected. Let's see here. But yeah, I would definitely just find a local CPA or local lawyer or something. Just buy an hour of their time and ask them all the questions about what's needed for your region. So you can be certain about that stuff. You can, of course, ask ChatGPT. It's not always right, so you got to be aware of that. But yeah, the sooner the better on that front. And regarding taxes and such, I mean, you have to pay the setup fee and wherever it is you live, and then taxes will be taken out of what it is you make. So let's see here. There's an interesting question. When we subcontract, do we do 50-50? And how to know if they're quality people? Can't from one call. They mess up, I'm answerable. That's a great question. So you don't have to do 50-50 if you subcontract. In fact, you probably shouldn't. It's going to be different based on what it is the subcontractor's doing, based on the size of the project, how you're using them, so there's a lot of gray area there. But you got to do what works for your business. So determine what the margin needs to be. Ask the subcontractor how much it would cost them to do the thing. And then put your margin on top of that and go to the client, you know? So it's not like the client comes in, you get the budget, and then you split it with the subcontractor. It's like, you know how much the subcontractor is going to cost, and you bill the client with your margin on top. And as far as how do you know that you can trust them? Yes. So you mentioned a call. That's important. Like having a quick call to like get on the same page about, you kind of do a vibe check and get an understanding of what it's like going to be to work with them. But then I suggest starting on something small, like having them come in and do like a small piece of a project, just to understand how they like to work. You know, because that'll be pretty revelatory. Like you'll understand pretty quickly if that's somebody that you want to work with, or yeah, maybe not so much. All right, let's do one more question and then we'll call it. So guys, if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, now's the time. We are celebrating the fact that we're getting close to 20K on LinkedIn. And so I wanted to come here and do a live, and I will be accepting any connection requests on LinkedIn that happen during this live. So let's go to the network here and see. Okay, yep, we've got some new people in. Let's see. Going to accept. All right. Some more folks. Just gonna take my time here for anybody else that wants to hop out of the app real quick, go over to LinkedIn and send a follow and a connection request. Or if you're on YouTube, just tap that link. Okay. Let's see here, got some messages coming in. I will be replying to all your messages. Mark that as unread. A little bit later tonight. Got some stuff to do after this, but I can't wait to chat with you guys over there. Okay, here. Let's find a good question from stuck on lat pull down at 120. I weigh 140. Help. It's all about form, you know. Bring the shoulder blades down. Shoulders to ears first, shoulders down, then the back, right? Breathe. And you know, it doesn't have to be heavy weights. You can do volume. You can do light weights and just do more of them. Same thing. You know, it's just about the poundage at the end of the workout. Just add them up. You know, you don't have to sell $100 product. You can sell $10 products. Just different business model. Let's see here. How is a contract valid? Oh, geez, you're gonna have to ask a lawyer these details. How is a contract valid between people from different countries as a freelancer? There's clauses that you have to put in, and I am definitely not a lawyer, but we have paid somebody to put those clauses in for us. Let's see here. All right, here's a good one to end on. Could you advise other freelance platforms than the most popular, aka Upwork and Fiverr, like people per hour? Because I find it's hard to start on Upwork, as it is a lottery, in fact. Okay, this is a great kind of foot in the door to my opinion on this matter. So while I'm answering this question, though, guys, this is your last chance to send me a connection request on LinkedIn. All right, so there's 650 people in front of you. You could skip that line if you send me that connection request during the answer to this question. I will accept it. So regarding freelancing platforms, in my opinion, and honestly, it's the truth of the matter. I would say you don't want to build a business on a freelancing platform. You want to build your business on. You want to build your own lead generation engine. Freelancing platform is fine if you want to do a quick cash grab here and there, but really it should only account for like 10% of your lead generation, right? Because you know, you're building your castle on rented land. You have no say in how they're running their platform. Sometimes the algorithm will favor one thing over another. It's a risky way to build a business. So really, ideally, what you do is you build your own lead generation engine using things like LinkedIn, what we've been talking about today, other social medias, building out your network, building out new offers for past clients, what have you. You want to do that work on your own rather than rent Upwork's work. Because what that commission is on Upwork is it's you renting their lead generation engine because they've done that work of bringing in clients. So build that out yourself, and go get really specific about what problem you solve for who, and then sales becomes as simple as putting that solution in front of that person who has that specific problem. The more specific you can get, the easier it is to convert, and the more you get to charge for it. So I would not advise any other freelance platforms. I would advise that you build out your own lead generation engine. And if you want to do a little better on Upwork or Fiverr, I mean, it's social proof is the name of the game there. So, really, I mean, on Upwork, the play, if you're just getting started, is to basically, tell anybody that you submit a job to that you're trying to build your social proof on the platform, and you're happy to underbid, their lowest quote for a chance to earn their business, and just get them to understand what it is you're trying to accomplish, and how you can help them. That's what I did, and I threw a portfolio that was really really sexy and meaty at them, with a lot of really good work, and then I said, I will underbid the lowest, like, so it's like they get this awesome work for like $150, and it's because I just wanted their testimonial. I wanted to get their or what, not testimonial, what's the word, review, for so that I could start building my profile, into something a little more attractive. So but that would be what I'd say. Honestly, I wouldn't even do it. I mean, both platforms are made up. Great people make those platforms. I know the teams from both. I know that they have freelancers' best interests at heart, and it's great for it's great for a quick cash grab, but it's not. You're not going to build a scalable, sustainable, long-term business off of those platforms. It should be part of your marketing mix. It should be a small sliver of your revenue pie. So I would optimize for building out your own lead generation engine first before optimizing for the platforms. All right. So let's see. We're going to LinkedIn. Let's see how we're doing here. Let's if we have any new connection requests. All right, we got a couple new ones here. Accept. Awesome, guys. Well, this has been fun. If I'm going to assume I'm going to give everybody here like a 10-minute grace period after I end these lives to go over to LinkedIn, search my name, and follow me and send me a connection request, and I will still honor the connection accepting for the next 10 minutes. All right, until 5:15 my time. So we'll call it here, but head over to LinkedIn, follow and connect, and we can keep the conversation going over there. All right, guys. We'll talk soon. Have a good one.